So you're wondering about cash offers. Maybe you have a cash offer on the table. Maybe you got multiple offers in a bidding war. Your realtor is telling you that you have a cash offer on the table. You need to take it right now, and you're just doing your homework. Good for you. If maybe you reach out to our team, maybe we gave you a cash offer, and you're just doing a little bit of homework on us and our system and our community and our team. Again, good for you. I'm glad you reached the channel. I hope you find this video valuable. We're gonna go through everything about a cash offer, everything you need to know, the good, the bad, the ugly, some of the misconceptions, some of the things that you're probably never going to hear from anybody because they don't want you to hear. So please stick around because I'm gonna drop some truth on you in a little bit. But again, let's just get back to what is a cash offer. Obviously, if you're here, you may have heard the term before. Maybe you've gotten a cash offer and you just kind of want to be careful about it because you're not really sure. Cash offers have been around forever, but they've really picked up in the past 5-6 years, especially with the real estate market being so hot. Cash offers are kind of the new hot word. As soon as you get one offer, everyone wants to know, is it a cash offer? Well, again, cash offers aren't always the best thing. They're not all made equal. And there's a lot of nuances that you need to understand about cash offers. Again, it's everything in the contracts that you read is not necessarily telling you the truth. You need to know the specific verbiage. You need to know some of the little nuances about these contracts, especially if you're working with a realtor that has no idea about investors or no idea about their contracts, or they don't read the contracts. I've been in many situations where the realtors don't even read the contracts. At one point in time, I had this realtor, I kid you not, this was, I think, my third transaction as a licensed realtor. I was working with an individual, big commercial company around the Lehigh Valley. I'm not going to mention their name, but it's a big time company. And they didn't read their contract. They ended up saying that one of the individuals that was trying to lease this building supposed to pay their security deposit plus 1 month rent, which ended up being like $12,000, and they wanted him to pay security deposit plus 3 months rent. Read the contract. It's in the contract. It was never in the contract. The contract was like 30 pages long, but guess who read it? This guy. Guess who didn't read it? Those agents. By the time I highlight it, I'd go through, highlight everything, put in notes, send it to their 3 different attorneys that had to read their things. There's just little old me in my office trying to read through this 30-page contract, understand all the little nuances of this commercial contract, and here to find out they didn't even read the damn thing. Ended up saving my client, like I said, about that was like $15,000 in upfront costs trying to run a business. But again, very important that people are reading these contracts because it's not always in there about these cash offers, and there's a lot of misconceptions. So again, stick around. You don't want to be going into a situation with a cash offer working with somebody shady. If you want to work with somebody reputable, give us a call. Our information is below. It's in the description. You can call us, email us. Again, please reach out. We're gonna steer you down the right path. I promise you that. So you may have a cash offer on the table, whether you're working with the MLS, maybe we're working with an investor. So what's the truth about a cash offer, right? Is someone actually just giving you a bag of cash? Not necessarily, right? If you're working on the MLS and you get a cash offer, make sure that it's actually a cash offer. I can't say this enough. I see it so often where an agent comes to their seller and says, "You got a cash offer." Well, not quite. There is a clause in the contract that says that they're waiving financial contingency. Just because you're waiving that financial contingency does not mean it's a cash offer. I've made these offers and I know that the agents haven't read them. I've seen these offers where agents were confused and they didn't understand that they aren't actually getting a cash offer, and they never ask. They never just go and ask, is this a cash offer? That's all you gotta do, is just go and ask the other agent or the buyer, is this a cash offer? Can I have proof of funds? That's all they have to do. But they don't understand these contracts sometimes, so you really need to know, the person you're working with needs to know what they're talking about with the cash offer. Don't just take their word for it and assume that everything's going to go through. Oh, no contingencies, no appraisal, no inspections, no FHA, no USDA. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, if they just waive the financial contingency, does not mean it's a cash offer. You want to get that verified. So again, these are some of the myths that you see around it. Is this even just waiving this financial contingency is a cash offer? Not necessarily, right? Again, make sure that you're reading the contracts, that you understand the contracts, and that your realtor understands the contracts. And if you don't think they do, then you need to either talk to the broker or give me a call. I'll read it for you. Trust me. I want to help everybody avoid any sort of mistakes with this, because I don't want to see anybody get burned. So is everybody suited for a cash offer? No, absolutely not. If your home is market ready, you are not in a rush, you want the highest price, and you're willing to wait for it, and you're willing to go through the hassle, and you're willing to go through all the bullshit with the paperwork and the contracts and working with the realtor and paying the realtor fee and negotiating that and just dealing with all that, then put it on the MLS. Absolutely. I'm not going to be able to help you. My team's not going to be able to help you. Nobody's going to be able to help you. You still may get a cash offer, and it still may be the highest price, right? Especially in Lehigh Valley, with the market the way it is. You price your home right, then you still may get a true cash offer, and it's going to work out great. The truth about cash offers is if you get a true cash offer with someone that has the funds, is ready to go, and there's no sort of strings attached or no bullshit that's being hidden, they're great. It doesn't get any better. You can close quicker. There's no contingencies. There's very little contingencies. You don't have to worry about the appraisal. The only thing you really have to worry about is an inspection, which, again, if they're not doing an inspection, then I don't know what they're doing. I would never recommend that. It's been happening, and it can happen to you. Sold someone's home recently that there was no contingencies, no inspections, paid cash, moved on, closed in 2 weeks. It happens. It does happen still. I don't really understand why anybody would want to do that, but it's the crazy world we live in. So who's going to buy these homes for cash, right? I always wonder, who has all this money? Before I got into real estate, who's got all this money just sitting around? And it's insane to me that so many people have we can have all these cash offers when so many people are strapped for cash. So where are these buyers coming from with cash offers? Well, one is it could be people from New York, New Jersey, moving into the Lehigh Valley. It's a lot cheaper to buy a home in Pennsylvania than it is in New York and New Jersey. We see a lot of New York buyers. We see a lot of New Jersey buyers relocating into PA. I see them all the time. They give me a call all the time. They see my videos. They say, hey, we're moving to Lehigh Valley and we want to know what the area is like. And they're selling their tiny little apartments for $1 million, and they're moving here and they can get a 3,000 square foot home and have plenty of money left over. So those are the kinds of buyers that are moving in with cash. Other than them, you have investors, right? However, I'm going to give you a little secret here. I promised you that I'd give you a little secret. Investors do not always have this cash, myself included. So where are we getting all this cash? If I'm buying 5 properties in 3 months, I don't just have $3 million sitting in my back pocket to be able to buy them, renovate them, and sell them. No, that's not how it works. And I didn't know this when I first got into real estate. I was always wondering, where do people get this money? And they pay for it, right? They actually have some financing for it through what is called a hard money lender. So what is a hard money lender? Again, this is something that they're not going to talk to you about when they're making you an offer. No one other investors are going to explain to you where they're getting their money from. I'm explaining to you where I'm getting money from because I want you to understand the process, understand where we're coming from, and understand that this is a business and you can trust our brand. So again, where would we get our money from if we don't have this money just laying in a safe somewhere? We have relationships with what is called hard money lenders. And what is a hard money lender? It's basically an institute that lends out money short term in order to do projects such as buying a distressed property for cash. So again, let's just say you want to sell for cash. You don't want any hassles. You don't want to clean up your property. It needs some repairs, blah, blah, blah. I come to you, we agree to a price, and I say, all right, I'm going to pay you cash. We're going to close in 14 days. No problem. Let's get this done. Okay, 14 days rolls around, we close. How did I get that money so fast? Well, I spoke to one of my hard money lender partners. They gave me some money to buy the property. And what's going to happen is throughout the process of cleaning your property, fixing up your property, and reselling your property, I'm going to take draws from them. There's going to be this just financial institute in the cloud that's going to give me some money every now and again when I say, hey, I need money for this repair. Here's what we've done so far. I take pictures. I give them receipts to show them I'm actually doing the work. And then they give me more money in order to finish the project. And in return, I'm paying them a very high interest on this money for the risk, right? There's a risk and a reward for that. So typically 10 to 12% on their money over the course of the year. But again, 10 to 12%, oh my God, my head's going to explode. How are you even affording this? Typically a short-term loan, right? So 3 to 5, 6 months tops is how long we're keeping this. But again, they're lending out their money for 3 to 6 months. They're getting 10 to 12% on it. It's a great deal overall. Again, it's a whole business that works around and around. That's why, it's not good for you to understand these types of things if you're working with some sort of investor who's offering you a cash offer and it doesn't quite make sense to you. Well, why does it have to be this amount, this low? I'll typically explain all this to any buyer that I'm working with. Okay, well, your house is worth X amount of dollars, right? If it was market ready to go, MLS ready, and you're going right on the market, it's worth this. Okay, well, you need some sort of repairs or it needs some sort of cleanup and you just don't want to do it. You don't want to deal with that hassle. Okay, well, now it's here. I'm providing you that service. And in this gap here, there are all of the repairs. There is the holding costs, such as the interest to the hard money lender. I have to pay that. There is the taxes. There's the insurance. There's, shoveling the snow. There's cutting the grass. There's all these little things that add up over the course of 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 7, 8, 9 months really until you finally get it on the market and sell it. So there's a lot of holding costs in there. So just because, your home on your estimate says, $400,000, if you want a cash offer, it's going to be significantly less. Typically, a rule of thumb for a lot of people is they take a Zillow estimate and they, take it to 60% and then they just throw an offer out there. I'm not going to do that with you. If you call me, you email me and my team, we're going to give you an actual number based on your property's condition, what your goals are, what you're trying to get out of it, and what we could feasibly do. And we will break down the numbers for you. We will show it to you. No other investors are going to do that for you. Nobody's going to do that for you. It's because no one wants to be that transparent because they don't want to show what type of profit margins they're getting. And some of them are getting astronomical ones. And that's where, you'll see a lot of these investors taking advantage of people, which is one of the reasons that the state has cracked down on people such as wholesalers, right? People that don't even have the money, they have no intention of buying the property, and yet they're putting you under contract. Again, you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence with these things. You want to make sure that when you're speaking with an investor or you're speaking with your realtor, that they know what they're talking about with their contracts, and you want to know what's in that contract. And if you don't know what's in that contract, you need to ask. That is on you to ask. And if you're not sure, again, email me, call me. We will walk you through this process for sure. And we have no problem doing that. We don't want to see anybody get burned. We want to make sure everybody is happy with their real estate needs. Again, please feel free to reach out anytime. And thanks for watching the video, guys. We'll see you on the next one.